Hello students, lecture 23. In this lecture we will discuss about beverage crops, that is tea and coffee, horticulture crops, that is fruits and vegetables, then non-food crops other than grains, that is rubber and fiber crops, technological and institutional reforms in support of farmers, Bhudan and Gramdan, and contribution of agriculture to the national economy. So first article is beverage crops, or they are also called drink crops, that is tea and coffee. So first it is tea. Tea is an example of plantation crop. It is initially cultivated by farmers during British period. Tea bushes grow well in tropical and subtropical climate with deep fertile soil and requires 25 degrees Celsius of temperature and about 200 centimeter of rainfall. Tea plants grow healthy in warm and moist frost free climate throughout the year. Continuous rain showers are good for its healthy cultivation. Major tea producing states in India are West Bengal. The Darjeeling tea is famous all over the world, and that is Makai Badi tea. You will be surprised to hear that Makai Badi tea in Darjeeling catches the highest ever prices in the world market of the tea, that is rupees 1,12,000 per kg. And many countries, Japan, Britain, America, Russia, these are importing this tea from India. Next is the coffee. Next example is of coffee. So coffee is also known for its taste and quality in the world. Indian coffee is famous in taste and quality in the whole world. Arabica variety was first cultivated in Nilgiri Hills, that is Baba Budan Hills of the Nilgiri areas in Karnataka. Coffee also grows well in hot and humid climate. So it requires more than 25 degrees Celsius of temperature and about 200 centimeter of rainfall throughout the year. Major coffee producing states in India are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. So these are the two beverage crops grown in India, tea and coffee. Next is horticulture crops. Horticulture means fruits and vegetables. As per 2015 report, India was the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables after China, second largest producer. India is producer of tropical and subtropical and temperate fruits. Temperate means in the hot climatic areas. Some fruits as per their areas and states, like mangoes of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, UP and West Bengal are famous all over world. Oranges of Nagpur in Maharashtra and Cherrapunji in Meghalaya are also famous. Bananas of Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Lychee and guava of UP, Bihar and dry fruits from J&K, Himachal Pradesh, apples including. And India is also an important producer of pea, cauliflower, onion, cabbage, tomato, brinjal, and potato vegetable crops. So these are the horticulture crops. Sometimes one question of 1 mark is asked on the basis of crop and the state. Next comes the food crops other than grains or the non-food crops. Food crops other than grains, that is non-food crops. So first one is the rubber. Rubber is an equatorial plant, grows under special climatic conditions. It requires hot and humid and moist climate with 200 centimeter of rainfall. Rubber is an important raw material for rubber industry and grows well in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andaman, Nicobar Islands and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. And red and yellow soil is suitably good for rubber cultivation. Then fiber crops. Fiber crops are mainly cotton and jute. About cotton, India is believed to be the first or the original home of cotton plant. It is the main raw material for cotton textile industries. In 2015, India was second largest producer of cotton after China. Cotton grows well in dry areas of black cotton soil or the Deccan Plateau. Cotton requires high temperature, low rainfall or irrigation is also needed, and 210 frost free days and bright sunshine for its growth. Are climatic conditions. Major cotton producing states in India are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka. These are the black soil areas. Andhra, Telangana, Haryana and Punjab also are the cotton producing states. Next fiber crop is jute. Jute is known as the golden fiber. It grows well on well-drained fertile soil in the floodplains of new alluvial soil. High temperature is required during the time of growth. West Bengal, Bihar, Meghalaya are the major jute producing states. In West Bengal, it is grown at large scale along the Hooghly River drainage basin. Jute is used in making gunny bags, mats, carpets and other artifacts. Now jute is catching its markets over the artificial fiber. Then it comes the technological and institutional reforms introduced by Government of India in support of farmer. This article is very important. Questions are asked based on technological and institutional reforms by the government in support of farmers. So you mark it, very important. Improved farming tools are an important technological aspect in support of farmers. Modern technology. Improved irrigation or irrigating ways help farmers to cultivate more land successfully. HYV seeds, fertilizers, other chemicals like insecticides, pesticides, and technological developments in better and healthy production of crops are helpful. In 1960s and 70s, the Green Revolution based on use of package technology and the White Revolution were some of the strategies initiated to improve lot of Indian agriculture. 1960s and 70s, Green Revolution and White Revolution were launched by government. So these were the technological reforms. Institutional reforms. In 1980s, 90s, a comprehensive land development program was started which included institutional reforms like provision of crop insurance against drought, floods, cyclones, fire and diseases of the crops. Establishment of Grameen Bank, cooperative banks for providing loan facilities to farmer at low rate of interest. So were some more important steps in this direction. Then Kisan Credit Card, that is KCC, Personal Accident Insurance Scheme, that is PAYAS, are some other institutional schemes introduced by the Government of India which benefit the farmers. Moreover, special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for farmer were introduced on radio and television. Government is also announcing MSP, minimum support price, and procurement price for important crops to check exploitation of farmers from middlemen. These are the institutional reforms introduced by Government of India in support of farmers. It is very important article. Next article is Bhudan Gramdan. Bhu means land, Dan means charity, Gram means village, Dan means charity. It was Bhudan Gramdan was started by Vinoba Bhave, a devout disciple of Mahatma Gandhi. He called him the spiritual hire of Mahatma Gandhi. He took the movement for donating land to the landless farmers. Sri Ramchandra Reddy from Andhra Pradesh, once he was attending the meeting of Vinoba Bhave, and after motivation he donated his 80 acres of land among the landless farmers. Sri Ramchandra Reddy, a very important person who was got motivated under Bhudan movement by Vinoba Bhave and donated his 80 acres of land, and that land was distributed among landless farmers. And when he visited different parts of India and told to people about Gramdan, many large farmers who were owner of many villages now also started adopting villages, that is Gramdan. Here Gramdan means the large farm owners had to invite landless farmers to cultivate in their land. Many landowners choose to provide some part of their land to the poor farmers due to the fear of Land Ceiling Act. Land Ceiling Act means government declared that now onwards farmers cannot hold on more than a prescribed number of acres of land. So due to fear in this, the farmers donated their extra land than that ceiling to the landless farmers. This Bhudan Gramdan movement initiated by Vinoba Bhave is also known as bloodless revolutions. Otherwise, in history you might have studied many revolutions. They involve lot of war, battle, bloodshed, etc. But this was the first bloodless revolution in history. And last article of this chapter is contribution of agriculture to national economy in three fields. Agriculture contributes to national economy, that is GDP, that is employment, and providing raw material to the industrial sector. So number one, agriculture has been the backbone of national economy, though its share in GDP has registered a declining trend. Although that whatever target a government is setting, to that target is not achieved. In 2010-11, survey is about to come in 2021. In 2010-11, about 52% of the total workforce reported was employed by the farm sector, which makes more than half of the Indian population and dependent on agriculture for their survival. And third is declining share of agriculture in GDP is a matter of serious concern, because any decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to a decline in other economic sectors, secondary sector and tertiary sector also, and this is a serious repercussion. the outcome of this would be very, very serious. So farmers and government must support agricultural activities, agricultural sector, so that it can be fulfilling to achieve its target of GDP requirement. That's all from this chapter, and in next video we will discuss summary of the chapter and some important questions. Dear students, I am writing important questions based on chapter in the at the downside activity, in activity column. Okay, downside, if you scroll the video downside, one arrow is there. If you click that, so downside you will find all contents and important questions. But I am mentioning all important questions at the end of the chapter, means when I am taking the summary of the chapter. Along with that, you will find important questions and their answers are in the video. So you note down the question and write down the answer after listening the video. I hope it will help you, it will support you. Now pull up your socks as exams are already declared. Corona is about to finish and you have to be serious about your studies. Thank you very much and I wish you good luck. See you in the next video.